Hello. Someone asked me, they said, Bert, you always mention the statement, be open, how to be open. What does it mean to be open? Being open is like a flowing river. It seems to be very old, it's always repeating itself, flowing all the time, but it is always fresh, new, and alive. You see, this is the important thing to remember, is that you are a human being. And I've always mentioned this because it has been my own realization and it changed my life completely, and I don't think I'll ever forget it. Human is always old. It is your DNA, it is your conditioned pattern, it is the old beliefs, it is the way you've been brought up. But you're a being. A being is always fresh, new and alive every moment. It is innocent. It is now. And now is all there is. But the reason we do not awaken spiritually, it is because we keep believing that we are the old. You know, someone asked me when I made the video about a week ago, and in it I said, now is all there is. And one actually wrote me, he said, how do you know now is all there is? See, asking a question like this is because we all the time, we want proof, we analyze, we try to figure out instead of listening to the moment. Because if you listen to the moment, if you're totally here now, fresh, new and alive, you realize that now is all there is. How can anything happen that is not now? Deepak Chopra made a statement and he said, we think 26,000 thoughts a day. And then the next day we repeat the same 26,000 thoughts a day. And then we wonder why we're growing old, bored, listless, finding life not interesting, never excited, never feeling alive. Well, of course, because we miss the being. The being is never old. The being is always fresh, new, and alive like the flowing river. You know, it goes back to when I realized I'm a human being. I had a vision of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi many years ago, and it changed my life, literally. And I wrote a book called Be Aware, Be Free, which sold very well in Toronto. I even have a brief series, television series, and I was interviewed by CBC, Food for Thought. And anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I felt I had a lot of experience through my reading, practice, and meditation. But it wasn't until the year 2000 when I faced the possibility in a very chaotic relationship, and I was in utter turmoil. I felt like I was squeezed between a rock and a hard place, catch-22, and I didn't know what to do. And at that moment I realized I didn't know anything. Here I was escaping the situation because I couldn't face it anymore. There was irrational behavior, very emotional, and I put my arms up in the air and I said, I am helpless. I don't know what to do. But in that moment of helplessness, in that moment of openness, I saw things for the first time. I remember I was in the bathroom locking myself up because I couldn't relate anymore to my relationship at the moment. And I saw myself for the first time in the mirror. I saw my body for the first time. I'm repeating myself. It's just like, you know, a UFO landing, and then an extraterrestrial being, a beautiful light being, emerges from this UFO, and you're aghast, you know, when you look at it. You've never experienced it before. At that moment, you are so alive. At that moment, you are so new, because everything that you've thought before is now gone. And there is no judgment, good or bad, right or wrong. There's just this moment. And it is this moment which awakens. It is this moment, this newness, this innocence, that is an open heart. It is listening to this moment as it is. When we ask, well, how do you know that now is all there is? Well, to me, it's so obvious, it cannot be any other way. But if it isn't obvious to someone who asks such a question, then they need to stop. Stop their analytical mind. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to understand it. And really look. How can anything be other than now? How can anything happen if not now? You see? So in the same way, in my year 2000 experience, I realized I'm a human being. I became very clear that this moment was all there was. And it is my very being itself. I've never been anything else. So whenever I go back to my human, which I do most of the time, and I identify with it temporarily, there's another part in me that says, listen. And that keeps me alive, that keeps me clear. So that's what an open heart is. Be open to the moment. Thank you.